Good morning and welcome to Blendertainment. I'm your host, Andy Sullivan. William Byron won the Martinsville race, meaning that the championship four for NASCAR for 2025 are Chase Briscoe, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, and Kyle Larson. Who I'd like to probably win the championship, William Byron, who's probably going to win the championship, Denny Hamlin. And we'll see what this weekend brings us. Otherwise, in other news, I finished reading David Baldacci's To Die For book on the 19th of October. It's the final book of 3 of the Travis Divine series. It's pretty good, but I admit that I enjoyed the first 2 a little bit more. Currently, I'm reading, well, I'll get to that later, what I'm reading later. Spire Motorsports announced Daniel Suarez will drive the number 7 next season. William Byron, 304 laps led, swept all the lap stages at Martinsville. The championship 4, as I said before, are Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, Chase Briscoe, and William Byron. Former New York Jet Nick Mangold passed away Saturday of kidney complications. 1 in 7 Americans are infected by chronic kidney disease. Diabetes and high blood pressure are the biggest factors. Nausea, vomiting, muscle cramps, having to go to the bathroom can also be symptoms. There are about 90,000 waiting for a kidney each year. Mangold played 11 years with chronic kidney disease. That's amazing. After a 38-14 beating at the hands of the Colts, the Tennessee Titans are now 1 in 7. You see now why I haven't mentioned it very much this season, because they suck. They'll probably have, if they don't have the number 1 pick, they'll have the number 2 pick, and they'll blow it like they do. And that'll be, I don't know, God knows when the next time the Titans will be any good. Now, I told you about the Baldacci book. Now, Baldacci books lately, however, I have been reading, let me find this. Mark Miller's book, The Boys and Me, My Life with Sawyer Brown. Couple of things. I'm not finished with it yet, but some things I picked up from it. In 1980, Mark Miller went to a showcase and heard Dean Dillon play Unwound, which went on to be George Strait's first big hit. Mark said he wanted to cut the song. The woman he signed his first production deal with, Linda Hargrove, said, "Yeah, that's great, but there's a song he and I wrote that I really want you to demo." He was in the vocal group in 1980 to cut the song, his first demo. A year later, it was cut by David Allan Coe. In 2015, Chris Stapleton recorded for his Traveler album. The song was Tennessee Whiskey. I did not realize before reading this book that Tennessee Whiskey, the song, had been around that long. An interesting break came when Mark and Hobie Hubbard, who he went to school with, went on the road with Don King, not the boxing promoter. He was booked to open a show where Reba was the headliner. They were eating before the show, or after the show, I'd rather, when Reba asked what Mark did. "Well, I'm a roadie for Don, but I'm in Nashville to be a songwriter," he said. Reba said, "Why don't you write me some songs?" The song Over, Under, Around that Mark wrote became song number 5 on Reba's Unlimited album, released in June 1982. That was Mark's first major artist cut. And again, this is from The Boys and Me, My Life in the country music supergroup Sawyer Brown. A couple more things I picked up. A few excerpts from the book. Back home in Nashville, I began to struggle in my publishing deal because I was being paid to write straight traditional country songs. What I was hearing in my head and what was working out for us live and on the road in front of real people was very different from the expectations of what I was supposed to write. So while my latest song was killing it in our live shows, I knew I had no chance of getting it approved to demo. I decided to take the matter into my own hands. This is good, guys. Around 1 in the morning, I snuck the guys in the studio to record a new song. Right in the middle of a good take, the door flew open. It was Blake, my boss with the publishing company. Evidently, he was headed home late from some event, and his route took him by the studio. He saw all the cars at an odd hour, and I'm sure he recognized mine. Knowing that something unapproved was likely going down, he was not happy with me. We all stopped and looked at Blake as he stood there staring at me. After gathering his composure in front of the guys, he said, "Mark, come see me tomorrow and bring this song. I want to hear it." With that, he turned and walked out with the guys now looking at me like one of those moments with your buddies when the teacher walks back in the room, catches you all doing something, but everybody knows who the real ringleader is. The next day, as ordered, I went into Blake's office ready for a verbal beatdown. He told me to play the song he'd heard us recording. Now, when Blake would listen to the song, he'd turn his chair around with his back to you and the room, kind of like on The Voice. While he was probably just wanting to avoid showing any expression until he heard the cut, those moments were always totally intimidating for me. As a songwriter, I was torturing myself with thoughts like, am I any good? He's hating this. This is probably terrible. After only one verse and the chorus, Blake whipped his chair around with his head down, motioning for me to stop the tape. With a scowl, he glared at me. "Mark, son, I don't even know what this is. What can I possibly do with this song? Who would cut this?" Respectfully, I answered, "Well, I would." He took a deep breath and said, "But you don't have a record deal. You aren't getting paid for you. You're getting paid to write country for other artists. Look at you. You got long surfer hair, wear flip-flops, and, well, anyway, the bottom line is that song turned out to be their first big hit. So, don't ever second guess yourself. Don't sell yourself short. That is, let's see, I believe that's all I've got this week. I know that's a really short, actually, you know what, let's go to the Kentucky Wildcats. Not so much the football team, because they're just terrible. But Kentucky faces Georgetown October 30th at 7 p.m. on I believe it's SEC Network Plus, which would be the ESPN app. Their first official game of the season is Nichols at 7 p.m. Valparaiso, November 7th. November 11th is Louisville. 14th is Eastern Illinois. 18th is Michigan State. 21st is Loyola Marymount. 26th, Tennessee Tech. December 2nd, North Carolina. December 5th, Gonzaga. December 9th, North Carolina State. December 13th, Indiana. December 20th, St. John. December 23rd, Bellarmine. And the SEC season opens with Alabama. And I'm going to stop there. The football cats, like I said, absolutely terrible. Their next game is at Auburn on November 1st. Then they go to Florida on the 8th. Tennessee Tech, Vanderbilt, and their next 5th and final game of the season. And I'm just going to go ahead and say probably of Mark Stoops' tenure is at Louisville. Now, a lot of people saying, okay, Mark Stoops needs to go. Mark Stoops, well, okay, fine. You fire Mark Stoops. Who you bringing in? Who, in God's name, could coach Kentucky football to a decent, not even respectable, not even good, decent record? I don't know. And another thing that we got, I'm going to get away from football, is WWE Saturday Night's main event this weekend. WWE Saturday Night's main event is on November 1st at the Death Center in Salt Lake City, Utah, with a main event of Cody Rhodes versus Drew McIntyre for the undisputed WWE Championship. Other advertised matches: CM Punk versus Jey Uso for the vacant World Heavyweight Championship, and Tiffany Stratton versus Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. Now, also, what's going to happen is Rusev versus, Rusev versus Penta versus Dominic Mysterio for the Intercontinental Championship. Crowd would pop better for Penta winning the title. I'm going to say that Judgment Day is going to purposely cost Dominic Mysterio the championship. I mean, it's time. They've been teasing turning on Dom. Excuse me. They've been teasing the turn on Dom for basically the entire year. And especially, losing the tag team titles to AJ Styles and Dragon Lee, or as I hope they're going to call themselves, AJ Lee. That'd be great. Especially after losing the titles last week and blaming Dom, I think they're going to turn on him, and he's going to lose that title to, if they don't, if they're waiting for a one-on-one match, I don't know. I could see them going to the end of the year, honestly. I know there's going to be at least one new champion Sunday with the world title with Jey Uso and CM Punk, but I think there needs to be at least two. Since Jade has now turned heel, I see her, since Tiffany is injured anyway, I believe, I can see Tiffany making I can see Jade making short work of Tiffany and winning the title. And eventually we would be setting up for a Naomi return when she gets back, and Naomi versus Jade for the women's title, because, there's still beef there from the whole who threw me off the roof thing that WWE did with Jade, that angle they did with Jade that lasted way too long. So that is going to be the end of this week's Splentertainment. Enjoy watching Saturday night's main event starting at 7. And it is going to be exclusively on Peacock. It is not going to be on NBC anymore. It's going to be exclusively on Peacock, which I like. I watch it on Peacock anyway because much better picture. Now, the late night shows. I have not watched. I've really not watched much of anything yet. Okay, James Corden was on last night. I don't know what it said actor James Corden, so I'd love to know. I'd love to see what he's doing. Lindsey Vonn was on. Oh, okay, he's on Broadway. James Corden talks working with Neil Patrick Harris and Bobby Cannavale in their Broadway play Art. So that's cool. He's doing Broadway now. So that's see, Jimmy, and with his musical acts, I'm running through to see who's been on. There was a band called Big Thief on last night. Again, gonna have to check that out because I've never heard of them. But Jimmy has a penchant for, and he did this with his late night show on NBC before he got the Tonight Show, that he got lesser known bands on. I think maybe some of them went on to be big name, but a lot of them probably didn't. But I kind of think that's what he's doing for. I kind of think that's what he's doing on the Tonight Show now. I think he's bringing in some lesser knowns, which that's cool. As for tonight, let me go over here to the TV guide, or the command center, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, command center, that's fine. Okay, let's see. this is going to take a minute because I'm on, the last time I was on this, I watched Roku. So let's check this out now. Again, NBC has taken Kelly off. So I don't know who is on Kelly Clarkson, and I haven't watched any of her shows on Peacock, basically because I think they disappear within a day or two, and I just don't have time to watch everything. Episode 3 of NCIS tonight. Episode 3 of NCIS Origins. Episode 3 of NCIS Sydney. The season finale of Only Murders in the Building dropped today. And next season, Only Murders in the Building will be filmed in London, which that's interesting. Says, you know, the Arconia was, spoiler alert, sold. Colin Farrell and Cameron Crowe will be on Colbert tonight. Kimmel's got Tessa Thompson, Draymond John, and the Beths performing. If that's not two people named Beth, I'm going to be really disappointed. Liam Hemsworth, comedian Leanne Morgan, and Feuerza Regida perform on The Tonight Show tonight. Ooh, Reese Witherspoon and Harlan Coben is going to be on Seth Meyers tonight. Excellent. Now, they have got, they've written a book, so they're going to be talking about that. And I'm 100% certain that Reese is going to be looking pretty great, because she always does. Okay, tomorrow, let's see, Roy Wood Jr. is going to be on GMA. Colin Farrell and Leanne Morgan are going to be on Kelly and Mark. Colin Farrell and Judd Apatow on The View. We got Wednesday, Shifting Gears, and Abbott Elementary. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes I kind of tap out on Abbott Elementary. It's season 5. Probably hasn't jumped the shark, but sometimes it's funny. It's not. I can take it or leave it. Tonight Show tomorrow night. Jesse Eisenberg, Brittany Snow, writer Jim Downing. Oh, Steve Martin and Allison Brown perform tomorrow night. So Steve Martin's getting back to music. Cool. That's cool. Isla Fisher and Judd Apatow are going to be on Seth Meyers tomorrow night. Okay, let's get to Thursday. Thursday, 911 Nashville on ABC at 8. George and Mandy at 7 on CBS. Ghost at 7:30. Matlock 8. Elsbeth at 9. Anthony Hopkins on Colbert Thursday night. And Jimmy Fallon's a repeat. Emma Stone is going to be on Late Night with Seth Meyers Thursday night. Now, going on to Friday. Friday night is the free-for-all night. Well, not free-for-all. All of the late shows are repeats. On Brand with Jimmy Fallon. Sheriff Country on CBS at 7 o'clock Friday night, followed by Fire Country and Boston Blue. Saturday, Saturday Night Live, Miles Teller and Brandi Carlile. And if history is any indication, I'll be playing catch up on Saturday Night Live because I do not stay up at 10:30 on Saturday night to watch it. And the Woeful Titans Sunday. Okay, first of all, the NASCAR race is going to be on 2 p.m. on NBC, also on Peacock. The finale from Phoenix. Chargers at Titans on CBS at 12. It says 12 to 325, but if the Titans' history is any indication, I expect that game to be over at about 1. I mean, not time-wise, but otherwise, probably they just give up. Tracker at 7:30. The Road at 8:30. And that's your TV for the week. And that's it for me. I am Andy Sullivan. You have been watching my Blue Entertainment vlog, and I appreciate it. And hopefully I will be back next week. Peace out.